The chance for Team Liquid to make it to the Western Clash is starting to evaporate before their eyes right now as Fnatic is up 2-0. And it's coming down to possibly the last game here. Can Team Liquid do it?
I think they can, but it's unlikely because it's not only that they are down 0-2. For me, more impressive is that Fnatic is making a statement today. They are basically saying, hey, we're back. They are looking extremely strong right now. Great coordination. And exactly the way that they are stacking abilities is something that we have criticized in the first few weeks where they played in HGC. They were overlapping heroics, and that's just not happening today. So I think they are looking way stronger than they have in the past few weeks. It's already a bit of a statement towards the Western Clash as well. Hey, we're here to win. And if they continue that playstyle and the exact same coordination that they show right now, it's going to be extremely difficult for Team Liquid to come back into this.
And we got a Toronto. It's pretty awesome. Let's go to game number 3 and check out the battleground that will be picked up here. It's going to be Shire, Team Liquid with the choice. Fnatic will have first pick instead. And I'm actually kind of curious here.
This is the interesting part because this is what I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
This is the map that Fnatic banned out 6 times in the past. Today is the first series where they did not ban Shire. Liquid jumps on that opportunity and says, okay, we're going to bring you to the battleground that you banned out over and over again, but traditionally in the past, Fnatic had a bit of a weaker streak, and that might be the map where they can turn it around. Also because Liquid themselves on this map is actually looking pretty okay. They have a 60% win ratio, 3 wins, 2 losses, which given their overall win rate of 50% is pretty good for them, and they play some great games there. So this could be the one map where you turn it around.
Could be the one map. I am kind of curious to see if we're going to get some changes from Team Liquid when it looks at Blaze. Blaze has been something that they haven't actually picked up recently in their drafts, and Fnatic is willing to pick it up now in their first couple of slots. So a ban could be warranted, or even trying to take that away could be good for Team Liquid.
Yeah, Blaze for Liquid, they only played him 1 time. That was a while ago, and they lost that game as well. So they are the one team that really doesn't have a great history with Blaze. If you just look at everyone else, most teams have played him 10 times or more. We have a few teams that don't have a lot of success with him. Diamond Skin comes to mind. They have played 11 games with Blaze and lost 9 out of those. But everybody has more or less jumped onto the Blaze train, just saying, hey, we need to play this hero. This needs to be part of our compositions because he's just so strong. Bunker is amazing. His offlane is also great. So, yeah, they're trying to do exactly that now. And Team Liquid, as you said, hasn't really caught up to that yet.
See if they start to dabble in that Blaze. If not, other options that we have seen for Team Liquid are good on this battleground. Arthas on the top lane can do well. Also Malthael as well, something that we've been seeing a little bit more of as he continues to come into the mix with his new rework. That last right's paying off for leftovers earlier, actually. It could be something that Team Liquid pulls out instead. You need that strong top laner. Also, don't forget, Shire, Dahaka.
Yeah, and I want to come back to Blaze for a second because this weekend, Blaze has been involved in every single game. So it's, at first people were hesitant. Trick played it a lot, Alex one-tricked him, then other teams started to pick it up and he increased in pick rate and play rate. Now we see him oftentimes as an early ban already, and we are now in a setup where Blaze this weekend was included in every single draft. He's actually, by now, in Europe, the 2nd most played hero played, not involvement rate, but played after Hanzo. Hanzo is played in 66% of the games, and Blaze, ever since he was introduced, of course, has been played 62% of the time.
And Hanzo's starting to fall out a little bit too. Funny how that works. The nerfs definitely hurting him a little bit as well.
Yeah, especially this weekend, as you say. It has definitely shown.
Fnatic bans out Abathur. They're not feeling messing with him again there. Blaze instantly banned out. Team Liquid, they are done with him.
Yeah, they definitely are, and I can't really blame them. But this is so the map where we haven't seen Fnatic perform, and this is their first Dahaka game.
Bad Biddy's here to show us.
On the first pick immediately. The first time that Fnatic plays with Shire, and the first time that Fnatic plays Dahaka in 2018.
Bad Benny plays his trap card, Dahaka. Finally coming out for Fnatic. We'll see how he plays it here. Played Blaze well, similar play style, except this time you get a grubby, or not a grubby, you get a, God, what am I thinking? Global, gosh, why did my brain go to grubby there? That was so weird.
I had no idea what you were talking about.
You get a global with Dahaka.
The global. Both start with a G.
Both start with a G. That's about as far as they go. That's how my brain works.
There's a B in there as well.
There's a B in there, yeah. Grub pride for life. All right, so Dahak has been picked up over the other side here for Team Liquid, deciding what they want to do to mix that up against Fnatic. They take Greymane away and grab Uther instead.
Greymane is just so interesting to me that we have seen him so highly involved before the changes. Then the change comes in, and on the first day, nobody even touches him. Everybody looks like him is like, ugh, I don't want that. Get that wolf out of here. Now on the second day of the weekend, though, we see Greymane starting to tickle in. First he loses a few, but then the first victory on Fnatic's side looking very strong. And now an old, true and tried, Uther and Greymane. Divine Shield on Greymane, now that he goes more into the melee range. Divine Shield is even more important. Team Liquid could be the second team this weekend that is successful with Greymane, because so far only Fnatic was able to get a win, and that was the victory on Battlefield of Eternity. Diamond Skin has chosen the hero twice against Leftovers earlier and lost both of the games.
Fnatic wanting to pull out all the stops here and show what they've been working on back at the lab. Stitches coming in with a Leeming as well. Expecting a support later on to help lock down those targets. Typically you need one with the Stitches. Malfurion would be good, but for now, we'll have a Medivh potentially banned out as Team Liquid is hovering him.
I would have been expecting Malfurion to be banned out, to be honest, because the root follow-up after a hook is just fantastic. But they are thinking that Medivh might be the one. And to be honest, there's also a lot of shenanigans that you can pull off with Stitches and Medivh combo. Just simply getting a hook and a gorge, and then the portal comes in and you go for a kidnap combo. Yeah. That works as well.
And it's cool looking.
Yeah.
Call that the milk carton comp.
The what?
The milk carton comp.
No, it's the kidnap combo.
You don't milk carton's awesome.
No, dude, that has been established years ago. There's no discussion about this. Don't even try. We can discuss Lava Wave all day long, but that's a fix.
I think we should let the people decide. Let the people speak, Caldor. Don't shush them. Allow them to talk.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to win that one too.
So the milk carton comp is because when people go missing, they put their picture on milk cartons. So people
the fact you have to explain it is already...
That's why it's so clever. It's a subliminal joke. It's great. It's wonderful.
Or we can call it the kidnap combo.
Let us know what you think. Milk carton versus kidnap combo. Lame, boring Caldor, or awesome Trixler / other commentators that have called it milk carton. Okay, so Zarya
Nobody called it milk carton. It was
cool, man. Let the people talk. Let them talk. Zarya has been banned out, which is actually a pretty strong composition against a Stitches type. You usually want to have a CC hard engage available to stop a Zarya push from coming in, and Stitches does not provide that. So Fnatic is kind of covering all their bases at Zarya ban.
We've seen Zarya on this map, but against Team Liquid actually, and that was by Leftovers, but it wasn't successful for them.
It was close. It was almost there.
Yeah, true. That was also against against an Abathur composition.
Yeah, it's very, very deadly. And Team Liquid finally pulled out the material that we've been asking for today with the Mergen as well. So double tank, Greymane, dive ability, right wing, and Falstad. Fnatic has gone off the loose end, and I'm okay with it.
I hate everything that I'm seeing right now.
I love it. Double global, hookaronis. Not much CC for landing a target down, but you do have a hook into a gorge into a Mighty Gust.
So, this is the second time that we see Brightwing. It was chosen once and it failed miserably. That was on Towers of Doom, I believe. And we have Liquid's comp is something that I really enjoy, because we have Greymane and Uther, and we have Tyrael with it now as well. So you can still go for Swift Retribution on the level 7, and you really empower Greymane. He's your one go-to. I think that's one of the reasons why we have Brightwing, because you can try and control him a bit more with Polymorph. And of course, let's not forget that if you get Stitches isolations through Hook, then you have now Emerald Wind as well. You have Falstad with Mighty Gust. So you don't get the traditional Kidnap combo with Medivh trying to help you to portal away, but what you get is perfect isolation, because you go in, you get the Gorge, and then normally you gust away with Falstad, and you can still kill the target. Or if that's not available, you can go for Brightwing and use Emerald Wind. So I don't know, I think Brightwing in this setup is better than what we've seen so far, when Brightwing was chosen to counteract Tracer, and that didn't really work out. I still am not a fan of Brightwing as a solo support. With any kind of pseudo support in the mix as well, I would like it more. Fnatic is the team that really played well with Brightwing in the last year, though. So I feel if a team pulls off the Brightwing comp, it's going to be them. Still not a fan myself.
We'll see how it pays off for Fnatic. Genji was the final pickup for Team Liquid. Good against Falstad. Just trying to lock him down. If Falstad's ever out of position, Genji just shurikens and Falstad dies. So not a bad pickup there, but The control is available for Fnatic, but it comes down to coordination, and it's going to be on Breeze to land these hooks.
It's the first time that we see a Falstad for Fnatic. Again, Falstad has a rough time in Europe. I think we are currently more and more walking towards where we can officially rename him into Failstad. He's 3-7 currently. Stop smirking. I was trying to move that in, okay, and then you smirk, and you know that throws me off my game. We had that earlier already with the Lava.
It was a nice pun. Time for game number 3.
Thank
Dragon Shire, Team Liquid. Hoping to stay in the race for the Western Clash. Fnatic here to snuff it out.
Do you know the two old guys from the Muppet Show?
Benny and Lenny or whatever the name are?
I have no clue, but I'm really afraid that we're getting very close to that.
They're usually in a theater in the top right corner just yelling stuff.
Just wait a few years, that's going to be us. To the left side of the map, game number 3, Team Liquid going up against Fnatic with Nurok on Genji, Hazovs on Greymane, Splend on Uther, Sportbeal on Muradin, and Eternal on Tyrael.
On the right side, in the red, Fnatic pulling out a global comp, but also with the Stitches. Stitches being played by Breeze, Mane on Lee Min, Quatnix on Falstad, Smexy on Brightwing, and Bad Benny on Dahaka.
I am curious to see what Brightwing can do here. Again, I'm not a Brightwing fan, it's well known. I think it's creepy. Brightwing is basically a fruit fly with an ego. But it's the second global, so you can really try and play the macro game here. But the combo is, of course, designed to isolate targets after a Gorge and then take it down. So that's what we would expect here. Let's see if they can pull that off. It's definitely a plus that you have also the ability to just lock someone down with a quick polymorph and then, make it a bit harder for Greymane to get engaged, make it a bit more difficult for Genji when he goes in. So there's definitely tools that they have. But let's see how they're going to need to use them. At this point, they're actually starting to be very aggressive at the top lane, and it looks good. Eternal takes a lot of damage here. He is able to escape, but that was a lot of free damage that they utilized.
Lee Min and Stitches will hold down the bottom lane, but with Giant spawning in 4 seconds, Team Liquid needs to consider grabbing those instantly with the globals being in the top lane, and Hasoabs will do so. One of the good ways to counter an aggressive push in the top lane. A lot of people see a push in the top lane and they freak out and they just rotate aggressively at the top, try to defend it, and sometimes that could be okay, but use those mercs to your advantage, and Team Liquid does so. Fnatic goes ahead and spreads out, grabs their own Giants as well.
Yeah, so mercenary camps are super important here now. Greymane, of course, has a bit of an edge, can take a lot of these on his own quite easily thanks to the damage output. Sportbilly, maybe even thinking about a quick and wait here, but it's more about scouting out what's happening. Doesn't really want to overcommit to anything here yet. The 2 Shines are up, and that means the first Dragonite is up for grabs, so let's see which team can make the play here. We have the global mobility of Fnatic that would allow them, we have triple for them, of course, and that would allow them to really move down fast to try and set up a kill if they can create a numeric advantage for themselves on the lane. But of course, for such a commitment, you need to make sure that you get value out of it.
Polymorph available here. It's going to be on top of Greymane. Stitches comes in with the hook as well, but Hasoab is able to sneak away. And 4. Right around the corner for both of our teams. This Fnatic is actually having a hard time with map control. Team Liquid so far was able to grab both shrines, and they're doing really well in terms of experience at the same time.
Yeah. At the bot lane now, a heavy commitment though as Breeze is starting to move in. There's Quatnix. They're trying to set Sportbilly up for a quick kill, but not quite happening yet. Bad Benny moves in and is going for the space-created drag. Eternal dies regardless, drag or no drag. Then we have Breeze, maybe still with an opportunity for hook, should still be on cooldown. And once he's off, doesn't get the chance here. But they get the kill, and so the entire move down to the bot lane was worth it for them.
That Stitch is poison, just barely securing that kill.
It was
Falstad
really
has the top.
calculated.
Yeah, right. Grabs the shrine, and we'll see if Fnatic can grab a dragon with Bad Benny here and Breeze as well. Should be all right. Ooh, Nurok coming in here to deal with Quatnix, but he has a fairy dragon, a fruit fly with an attitude, as you say. Smexy comes in and helps him save the day.
Yeah, that's of course the beauty of having the globals available. You can always gank that top lane. That's one of the things that teams have used in the past so much, especially when Brightwing combos with Genji were extremely powerful, and a double support setup was one of the fantastic tools that you oftentimes had. Breeze, on the other hand, is now in trouble at the bot lane. Mena is attempting to zone for him as much as he can. The hook comes in, and the drag! Wow, that was sexy. Goes in with a hook into drag and takes it down. Loving that play. That was quick reaction here by Bad Benny.
Yeah, Bad Benny. That's like his 4th tongue in a row that he's landed. Why has he not played Dahaka before?
I just think it didn't fit in the compositions that we were trying to play. And Fnatic has obviously also changed their own MO up a little bit. Quatnix needs to be careful though. His hit point pool still hasn't increased and his mana is low. He needs to be really careful here, but Bad Benny comes in again. Triple global. Eternal is also moving out barely. Ah, nice juke. Well played by Tyrael here. Eternal with a juke as the tongue comes out, was waiting for it and dodges it in time. I like the back and forth between the two of them here. It's really fun.
The aggression, man. Going full brawl
Bringing
mode.
around the Rosie.
Dahaka with the burrow, watching out for the stuns, holding the dragon long enough. His life will expire, but the dragon is birthed. As we have Fnatic grabbing the dragon and pushing in the middle lane.
Yeah, 2 kills against 1 in favor of Fnatic. They get the Dragon Eye, they lose their Haka because of it. But of course now they can start taking that lead in experience by dropping a few of the structures, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. 2 towers down in the mid lane, down to the bottom of the map. We have Forstead and Li Ming focusing on the rest of the infrastructure.
Lots of damage so far. Dragon coming down to the bottom lane. The experience lead starting to jump up for Fnatic pretty aggressively here, but you kind of expect that with the triple global composition. Scorpion comes in for a Stormbolt from behind, getting Quacknix, making Quacknix back up a little bit.
You can really tell that Quacknix is going to be one of the primary targets for Team Liquid. His hero hit point pool is so low, and he is really someone that you need to protect, and that's going to be the job of Brightwing then later on after Emerald Wind in particular, and also, if possible, a drag on isolation. So yeah, Quacknix needs to be very, very careful here that he is able to move away. Nice timing here for the camp, taking that right as the Dragon Knight expires. Quacknix, of course, also in the meantime working on his Season Marksman, so he went for the standard auto attack build with Season Marksman on level 1 into Boomerang on 7, and with Hammer Gains on 4. At this point, he's sitting at 11 stacks on Season Marksman.
Nightcap pushing in the top, all 3 globals there. Dahaka, Brightwing, Falstad, maybe looking for another pick like we saw in the early game, while Fnatic sneaks away their own giant at the same time. Looking to get 10 here, and with the 2 turrets available for pickings, they could do so.
Getting a lead is... Fnatic getting a lead is horrible for Team Liquid, because Fnatic's strength with the triple global is very powerful in the later stages of the game when we have the map opened up, and that is something that is going to happen here fairly soon. So for Liquid, this is definitely not a good start into the game, since the late game should favor them. I would still expect Gorge. Yes, there it is. So we have hook into Gorge now, but the kill potential up at the top. Nice move. Isolation comes out. Quacknix was, as expected, the target, but a great move here by Bad Benny getting the isolation out, and then Quacknix commits to the Gust himself. But that was an engage where Liquid didn't have level 10.
Yeah.
So it was a really nice collapse here onto the top lane.
It just shows the weakness of a 3-on-3 with Falstad being one of the main damage dealers. Him and his health bar, they're just so little, so small. Granted, you need the tank up there as well, but the Dahaka, Brightwing, and Falstad combined just couldn't handle the raw power of a Greymane.
We have X-Strike. X-Strike has been chosen for Genji. We've seen that a few times before, so we could see that extra damage, and that makes it even more dangerous for Falstad, of course. Falstad already flying in the mid lane as we see Team Liquid gather up here. Breeze is currently looking to see. There's the Gorge, and Breeze... There comes Emerald Wind. Emerald Wind is in. Can they get the kill, though? Not behind the gate yet. Sport Billy is low. We didn't have Gust available for Fnatic, and they are not able to drop the target right away. A lot of damage on Muradin, but of course cooldowns used. Emerald Wind, the Globo on Brightwing has also been utilized, and Gorge too, and it was all negated by Muradin using Avatar and jumping out.
Splinter's cleanse too. Making it much easier there for them not to lock down the CC on him, and he was able to pop away. Sport Blade jumps right over Breeze, going to use a Mighty Gust to disengage from this fight. Hook comes out, it's going to be on Splinter into a Polymorph. Will it be enough damage? No, not so far, as Neruk goes in to harass.
That's really the moment when you wanted to have your Gorge.
Yep.
We're still on a 15-second cooldown, but they hold the bottom shrine, which is the important part. Up to the top, Tyrael reclaims one for Team Liquid. It's still even experience for the two teams. Again, the composition of Team Liquid, of Fnatic is going to become even more dangerous once the map opens up. And so far, we've seen towers fall, but the forts are still all available. So once there's more space, Team Liquid will have a harder time dealing with those globes. At least should have. There's the hook. Do we see Gorge? No, we don't, because Muradin was ready with the Stormbolt. Well done by Sport B.
Yeah, the Stormbolt would have stopped that. Quacknix was trying to bait out that fight, but Team Liquid brought enough people down just to make sure they can go for their own fight as well. Breeze will be having a hook up pretty soon here. Can look for another hook and land it and get a Gorge behind this wall. So Team Liquid, knowing this, is playing very careful. Meanwhile, Dahaka in the top lane.
Yeah. Again, who coming out, not hitting anything here, only hitting the minions. The Dahaka is taking the top lane, as you mentioned, so Tyrael really needs to rotate between mid and top now to make sure that they're not losing out on anything. The level 13 talent early on would be a problem. The Dahaka delaying the rotation of Tyrael, making sure that Tyrael misses out on some experience, while at the same time Tyrael himself can't even go for the XP on the lane. He needs to go for the temple instead. Here comes the hook. Uther, cleanse comes out, the Gust, the isolation is there. Brightwing committing to it too, as long as they get get the kill. It's all fine and dandy, and they do kill gotten, and that was absolutely worth the cooldowns here. 5 versus 4 in favor of Fnatic.
Sublime teamwork, but gotta call out Smexy. That cleanse to make sure the Stormbolt didn't lock Stitches down, got him a little bit further, and then the Emerald win to push Uther into the turrets.
Both, really. Muradin, first of all, waiting with this entire setup for the Stormbolt to counteract the play, and then the cleanse. It was absolutely great. But this is the idea. Isolate a target, take it down, and then run with the advantage.
Another polymorph. Nurok takes some damage, is backing away.
And Nurok is going to have a lot more trouble once that level 16 hits, because then the slow comes into it as well with the Pulverize. To keep you guys also updated with a bit of the stack talents that we have, Seasoned Marksman is at 22 stacks currently, and the Wizened Duelist only at 10. So Hazops gets 10% extra damage in, but not much more than that. Didn't really have a lot of opportunities yet to properly stack it.
Hook comes out, another Gorge, Melee on the side here, Gus happens, but Divine Shield keeps him alive. Splendor comes in, trying to bring out the stuns to help out Eternal. Eternal will use Invocation, and Breeze will have to disengage. Can he get away in time? Nurok diving, X strike, X marks the spot, Nurok gets a kill.
Greymane is also down, so we have a trade. 1 for 1, 2 for 1 as Genji falls. It's a 3 for 1. Tyrael is taken apart. The 2 towers in the mid lane doing a massive amount of damage to Team Liquid's members, and that is a disaster for the blue team. Fnatic loses Breeze on Stitches, but they walk away with 3 kills, and they are also closing in on Dragon Knight number 2.
Mane turning that around. Dragon Knight coming in, as you just mentioned. Bad Benny will take it, while Mane pushes the top lane, grab the experience really quickly. Should be able to join up his team pretty soon. But now the world is the oyster for Fnatic. They can open up this map pretty well as they go in for this well here and the fort at the same time.
Yeah, and for Fnatic, of course, the composition that they drafted here has 2 big advantages. First of all, you can out-global your opponent, and the second advantage are those isolations. Quacknix again the target, the cleanse comes out, and he barely escapes. Smexy is doing such a fantastic work with these cleanses, and always has the coordination down for the Emerald Wind as well when it's needed. So Quacknix has, so far, survived a lot here. And you can really tell this Team Liquid is trying to kill him. They always attempt to move in from the back to take him down.
It's been difficult. 1 fort, 2 forts. 16 rare in the corner. Fnatic has a keep wall they can take out. They still have 30 seconds on this Dragon Knight that has still 60% health.
Greymane by now on 8 stacks by now, by the way. So with the new Wizened Duelist, when you die, you only lose half of your stacks. And the maximum is 30. Here comes a hook attempt again, with Hazops dying earlier in the mid lane fight. He lost a fair share of stacks that he had. Here comes the Gorge, there comes the Gus, but nice Divine Shield, trying to keep close enough. And he's able to save Muradin for now. A Splendor on point here.
Bad Benny on the backside though, and he still has a drag. Don't forget about that. Contagion goes in and it actually hits on top of Genji. Hook into Genji as well. Nurok finally should be able to get on out as Uther gets some heals, but Uther's fallen.
Yeah, Sanctification has been used here as well. It's a 16 talent advantage that Fnatic has, and that's the Pulverize that I was mentioning earlier. Breeze is getting so much work done with it, and they will claim that keep. They poke away from a distance. Really well played here. But also, Splendor realizing that him Divine Shielding himself is the only way how he can move through the Gust and also move through the Emerald Wind. So he went in and started to get the heal, but it's just so difficult for them with a talent disadvantage to get enough out of it. But it was really heads-up play, because on Team Liquid's mind there's one thing, and it's we need to stop this combo. Fnatic sacrifices so many cooldowns to get these kills, and if it doesn't work out, they are in trouble. But if it works, then it doesn't matter how many cooldowns they use. They will still have that 5 versus 4, and that's something that Liquid can simply not fight.
And it only takes 1 error, and Team Liquid is doing their best to introduce that 1 error some way. Fnatic actually coming in for an aggressive play on this night camp. They're coming in with it. Bad Benny on the front line. Can he get the heal? Sportbilly controlling the space a little bit too well. And Team Liquid
Gorge, Gus.
is going to force a fight. Gus comes out. Emerald win as well. Is it enough? It is.
Muradin is down. No avatar at this point, and it's just brutal.
Look at the bottom lane, too.
Yeah.
Bottom lane's pushing in.
Massive push at the bot lane. 16 is finally ready for Team Liquid, but it doesn't even matter at this point, because Fnatic gets a free defense at the top against the camp. Liquid has to send someone down to the bot lane, and in the meantime, Fnatic can start to take down another fort. And what we talked about earlier, the second attack of Fnatic. Not the isolation, but the globals. And the globals excel the more the map is opened up. So they can now stick Teaka to the top, they can keep someone else there, they can rotate around, try to grab those either kills, go for the shrines, or just simply push the lanes out. Again, another hook commits.
He has Divine Shield, able to get out. Wave of Force actually pushes them away. Nurok taking some damage on the side as Mana chases him down, but with Hostile showed up, he has to back away. Sanification used as a Thurnal attempts to kite away on the bottom right corner. Has an escape route with that Eldruins, and looks like he'll be just fine. Just kidding, as he gets locked down completely.
10 kills against 2. Another Dragonite is up. Currently, Fawcett has 35 stacks on Season Marksman, so it's starting to hurt even more. Quadnix in trouble, gets out again, but look at this. Muradin is dead. He's more dead than alive at this point. He just came back.
Another Divine Shield. Used for hostile ops. Quadnix flying in, goes in for Nurok, but actually is going for Uther as he drops down the Mighty Gust, and Uther gets picked. That's 3 down.
Yeah, and they're getting absolutely destroyed here. Fnatic is just dissecting them like a surgeon using a scalpel the entire time with Emerald Wind and Mighty Gust, making sure that they isolate targets and then they take them down. 12 kills to 2. Dragonite at the bot lane, 2 heroes still down. The Dragonite is starting to move in. We see Catapults moving in as well, and this is just lights out. We're having Fnatic heading in for the 3-0, dropping Genji and dropping the core.
Fnatic looking at the core, dropping it in percentage. Team Liquid was hoping for a chance to move to the Western Clash, but it will be denied. Fnatic with their victory gets Zealots into the Western Clash.